Stop building business applications in Excel. Claude just built this complete, done-for-you application in minutes. Invoices, payments, PDF generation, customers, products, search, even the automation. And I didn't build it, Claude did. A customer requested a custom invoice and payment application. Watch this. One simple request, one zip file, and Claude goes to work. And now Claude literally interviews the user on what they want. So I'm going to paste in the answers here. Claude is now asking me for a company name and address. I'm going to paste in that information, a logo. I'm going to drag that over. I've got a logo saved up here. And I'm also going to be adding in the address along with the color theme. I've chosen the blue color theme. You can choose any theme, pretty impressive. A currency, so it can be used in any country. Sales tax, whatever the tax name and percentage is, and a custom footer. So I'm putting all of that in, and we're gonna let Claude go to work. All right, impressive. Step 2 of the interview. Now let's see, it wants to know my customers. Do I have any customers, or should it load some fake ones? Or do I have products and items? As a matter of fact, I do have some products that I want to share. I've got a product sample here, which is some espresso machines and coffee machines for my business. And I also have a list of customers. So I'm going to bring those in and give those to Claude, and it's going to embed those right in the application. Pretty impressive. So I'm going to do customers and products, and I'm going to bring those in there. And it wants to match its invoice system to mine. Very cool. It's asking me, what is the starting invoice? So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 as the starting invoice. And we're going to let it go to work on that. So let's see what happens next. It's actually running the uploader. It's checking the customer and the products, making sure that it's all aligned properly. Very impressive to make sure that the data falls in the right place in our invoice application. Everything's mapped correctly. It says all the fields match, and it's going to build it for us. Now it just says, say go, and I'll build it. So, all right, let's see what happens. Go. I'm just going to say go and see how long it actually takes. And now Claude is building our entire invoice application, including all of the features, functions, and formats that we've asked it to, all the VBA code, tying all those buttons and icons to the macros, and including the PDF generation along with the save, update, add, and delete invoices as well. And it says build complete, quick sanitary check, pass the VBA test. Okay, we're going to open it in Excel. It says everything is working. We've got it's followed all the instructions. Your 10 customers and 10 coffee equipment items are preloaded. Very cool. All right, we're going to open in Excel and have a look. Wow, look at that. We've got the logo, the company information. I've got a drop down list of all my customers, and the address automatically populates. When I select an item, the description, the quantity, the amount, and the total. And when I change the quantity, automatically the total. So the formulas are all in place. Can we actually save it? Yes, we can save it. Amazing. And the invoice number is exactly the number that we wanted. Can we generate a PDF? Let's take a look. And we can generate a PDF. That's impressive. Oh my goodness. And let's take a look. We can even add in a date on here. So we can set the invoice date and save it and update that. How about new invoice? Does it clear it out properly? Oh, it does. And what about the search? Can we recall the old invoice? So I'm going to put in the invoice number in the search, and it automatically recalls all the items in order. And let's go ahead and add in a payment now and save it, and the payment is even added in. Wow, this was an impressive build considering Claude took just a few minutes to what would have been literally hours or days of work. Incredible. We can now hide column A and B. We see if we pull in the formula bar, we'll go into view, and we want to actually make sure that the formulas got in there. We see it's complete with the formulas. We can hide columns A and B. We don't need that, so simply hide it. That's for admin. We see we've got an invoice list that's been populated. The data is correct. We've got invoice items, the items individual for the invoice that was saved, our customers that were automatically imported, and even items that were also imported inside the process. Not only did we build an entire application by Claude in just a few minutes, it was customized to exactly our requirements with our logo, our products, and our tax rates. Very impressive. So how do we manage all of this? Well, that begins with these instructions, and it's called the invoice skills, and I'll be including that with this week's download, and it is basically the instructions for Excel. It includes two parts: Excel VBA engine. This tells Claude exactly how to build Excel-based applications. It gives it all the instructions. The other one is the Excel Invoice application. This one includes all the instructions for the specific invoice, and it includes assets such as the icons that were used in the application. So all of that I'll make sure to share with you. I'm also going to be including all of the sample files, the invoice that we actually generated. I'm going to include the customer and the product data so that you can try this out, and you also have all the sample data. You can pretty much do anything you want with this, and you can ask Claude to customize it to your own requirements if you like. The skills themselves can also be customized. I'll be including all of the skills along with the sample files in a download. If you're on YouTube, make sure you check the download link under the word download, and if you're on my website, just look for the blue button or green or whatever color it is this week that says download. Set your name and email, and I'm going to get this sent right over to you. Now, we've seen Claude perform effortlessly with the right instructions, but what about ChatGPT's Codex, its desktop application? Can it perform well under the same exact instructions? So that's what I did. I uploaded the same zip file, I gave it the same instructions, and it also responded with the same exact questions. I supplied it with the same answers along with the customer, product information, and logo. It took about 6.5 minutes for it to generate, and let's take a look at exactly what it has created. And right away we see that there is a problem. We found a problem with some content in Fredder's Foods invoice application. Do you want us to cry? I'm just going to click yes so I can actually see how far it got, although there already are some issues. And so we see we've got some issues here with some worksheets. So sheets 4 and 5 had some issues, and we got some calculation problems. So let's take a quick look at it. We've got an invoice list here. We've got invoice items, and we have customers. It looks like the customer IDs didn't carry over and the customer data didn't come in, and the items also didn't come in. So an issue with data. So let's take a look and see if we can get anything to generate. Do we have the formulas? We do have the formula here, and let's see if we can get an amount. So not too bad on this one here, but what about a customer? Can we get a customer to populate? So it does look like the VBA is actually working relatively well. It's pretty much only an issue with the data, and I see the quantities and amounts aren't coming over correctly. So that's an issue. Are we able to save an update? Yeah, we were able to save an update. That's great. Are we able to click a new invoice? Yes, we were. Are we able to call up an old invoice? And yes, we were. So it actually did perform pretty well. And can it generate a PDF? So we'll take a look at that. And so it looks like it's performing quite well under the circumstances. So it's just a matter of data. So even Codex can perform well with the right instructions other than the data issue. And I'm sure we could probably fix that if we worked with Codex. It could update the instructions and we could probably get that to work too. I'll be adding even more updates based on your ideas and feedback inside our elite membership program. Make sure you do join us there, and I'll include the link down below. What do you want to see Claude build next? I'm happy to create these for you, and we'll see what it can do. Scheduling, accounting, there's so many possibilities. This incredible AI transformation means that you don't have to create these applications anymore yourself. AI can do it for us accurately, correctly, and quickly. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.